Shooby-dooby. There's this whanger. I know, I'm always messing with my hair. I know. Uh, but to my defense, it's windy outside here in Nebraska. Very, very windy. Okay, yep, here's a whanger too. I don't know. Hi, I'm Bonnie Lacey, messy woman with messy hair, author, speaker, yeah, crazy woman, crazy old woman of faith that writes books. Okay, see, there it is, right there. Boom. Got it. Maybe. It's going to drive you nuts now, right? It drives me nuts. Gee, wow. This is Wednesday. I usually do these on Monday, and that might be changing because my husband is starting to take Mondays off, and it's very difficult to do these videos when he's around, if you get my drift. Okay, so kind of adjust your schedule if you do that. Again, I'm Bonnie Lacey. So if you like what you hear today, subscribe and like, maybe comment. I'm going to tell you today about why write the back cover blurb before you wrote the book. So that's kind of an odd thing, and I want you to know my thinking, my examples down below. So stick around to the end. You find out a little bit more about the book I'm writing right now. So yeah, why write a blurb? You know, I didn't used to do this. It used to be, okay, I wrote the whole book. Here's 70, 80,000 words that you condense down into what, 2-3 paragraphs that you put on the back of the cover? Are you kidding me? Wow. Yeah, that's what I used to do. And I'll tell you what I do, and I'm not sure who I got the idea from, but now this is all I do. So I tore this down. This was hanging up on my window right in front of where I write, and it's the back cover blurb. It's the beginning, the middle, and the end, kind of, right? So I wrote it down. I'm going to read it to you even. I do have an idea. So Phil finds himself in the prison infirmary after the insurrection that didn't go as planned. That happened in book 6. He can hardly hear because of injuries, but when a bright light slams into his room and hovers above his head, he is blinded as well. All he ever wanted to do was kidnap his daughter and start his own cult, just like his dad. But when he keeps hearing a woman's voice praying, it all changes. The demons step in. They've known Phil all his life, so they know what buttons to push, what lies to tell. Until Phil gets a visitor that changes it all. So, I don't know. Pretend that's on the back of the cover. Pretend that there's an actual book. Would that make you want to buy the book? Read it? I don't know. And I know the character may not be all of the ones that are in books 1 through 6. They're not. But some of them are, and I know what my heart is for Phil, this character. So I'll give you an example from this current work in progress. He's an ex-boyfriend, evil ex-boyfriend. And if you've read any of the first 6 books in the series, in the Great Escapee series, you'll know him and what he's done. And I read you the blurb. He's been trying to kidnap his daughter. Like I said, you know, but if you heard my blurb just now and listened to it, and maybe you watch along these videos, watch along with the transcript, right? You kind of know a little bit about what it's about. But what if things change during the writing of the book? How do you change your blurb? Can you change it? Yeah. You know, I'm halfway through my book, and I began to notice that it was not adding words or pages like it usually does. I've written the book pretty much. Now I'm into edits, and edits where the magic happens for me. Sorry. So the words weren't adding up like I'd thought they should. And something's missing. And I really sought the Lord, truly. Lord, what is going on with this book? Why isn't it flowing? Why doesn't it feel fleshed out? Why doesn't it feel as deep as I'd like it to? And what was it? And part of it is just there's an element of romance that's missing. There's a young nurse that helps with Phil. He's in the prison infirmary. He's recovering. So I don't know yet if I don't think it is that they're going to fall in love, she, the nurse, and Phil. I don't think they're going to fall in love, but I don't know that yet. But I knew that romance needed to be in the book somewhere, somehow. But I also know that her angel was missing, which sounds funny, but if you've read any of my past books, the books 1 through 6, you'll know that many of the characters have a guardian angel alongside them. So that guardian angel teaches us about spiritual warfare. These books are about angels and demons and about the invisible world, like what's going on right here, right now, or with you right now, right? And how it plays together with the physical world, with the humans. How do the humans even interact with the invisible world? Some of them can see the angels and demons, some of them cannot. And that's the way it happens in our real world, right? I was completely forgetting one of the characters, Raphael, her guardian angel. So, key thing here is to go back to the beginning and add a couple of chapters, and honestly, I can feel like how it's adding conflict, it's adding more depth, and it's adding more words, yay, and pages to my story. So my book is all changed now. What do I do with my blurb? You edit it. Whoops. Here's my little notes on my phone up here. You edit it according to the changes that have been made to the addition of the characters that I've added and the threads I've added. So another thing that has to be done, and you're already following me there, is following each thread clear from the beginning where I've added the guardian angel, say, to find the resolution of whatever is going to happen to the end, how they interact. And right now, my example is romance. How do I complete that? How do I grow this guy from, I hate this guy, to, I'm kind of drawn to him, whatever, for the nurse, right? But that is one thread that has to be followed. I'm not sure if I'm saying this very well. I'm kind of speaking it out right now to find my answers, right? So you're helping me. You're helping me right along with me as I puke this out, right? And also I need to follow that guardian angel wherever he was introduced in the book, to make sure that he is in the story enough and to make him worthwhile writing him in, but also to do his part in the narrative and how he relates to the other angels and how he relates to Danielle and also the demons and how she relates to him. Can she see him? I don't know yet. He could see her, right? Another thing is I feel like Danielle, the young nurse, will or does have some very special gifts of the Holy Spirit. And I really haven't explored those enough as well. So obviously there's a lot to do yet in the book before it's completed. I've got the rough draft, but oh my goodness. But with these 3 things, the romance, hopefully, whatever that's going to be, the guardian angel, and the last one, the Holy Spirit gifts, I said just now, I can't remember already. These 3 things add more depth. They add more interest. Maybe because there's romance, that'll draw in a different reader because of that. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to have that there. the research that I've been doing for Phil, I feel like he's going to have a Paul conversion. And I've been reading this book, maybe talked about it before, The Apostle, A Life of Paul by John Pollock. It's a really good book. And with some of the things that Paul went through or did, if you know the Bible, oh my goodness, he's written most of, the New Testament. You know that he was abusive towards the Christians. He killed some, he jailed some, how did he get from that, being that and knowing what he had done, to being the Paul that we read in the Bible? I've done the research that maybe there were like 3 years of time from when Jesus, appeared to him, and he was blinded for 3 days, but there was like 3 years of him, healing and getting to know the true God, Jesus Christ. Then I've also seen that there's 12 years. It would take a while to get to the point where he didn't just hate himself for the way he treated other believers. I don't know. This book is amazing. I'll leave a link down below. But it's also how Danielle's angel relates to the demons that are in the story, because there are many demons in the story because of the evil man, right? How to put all this together. There's a thing called writing by the seat of your pants. You've probably heard it. Or are you that, a pantster or a plotter? And I think I'm both, a hybrid of both. I know a little bit because of this blurb, a little bit of what's going on, and I go ahead and write it, and I write it according to what I feel like needs to happen. But once I get through the rough draft and I start over in the edits, mainly what I do, and I've already done this, is that I take the beginning, what I feel like is Act 1, what feels like the line there. I print off that part of the book, get my red pen and read it out loud, and then I can discern what is wrong, and I do that a couple of times, a lot, most books, because I want that Act 1 part of it to feel solid, to go on and edit the rest of them. But I find that when I edit, that's when the magic happens for me. That's when, as I'm reading along, there's this scene that appears in this brain, and it's amazing, and I can see how it's going to fit in with something farther down. I don't know, like maybe the end. That's the discovery writing for me. I plot it a bit. Yeah, the back cover blurb. But then once I get into the edits, that's the discovery writing for me. I hope this hasn't been too long. And if you're a beginning writer, or if you're an accomplished writer, this is just my phase, my process. You have your own. And if you do, leave a comment down below. What do you do? What is your process? I was kind of stuttering this whole time. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I'd like to hear your process and what you think of mine. Again, my name is Bonnie Lacey. I'm an author, speaker, all that stuff. And if you like what you hear, if you'd like to learn more, hit subscribe and like down below. And as always, I hope you're having a good day.